Hey, everybody. I'm excited to be here once again and this conversation about when you are stuck in guilt or anxiety, what do you do? I think it's an important conversation because we've got a lot of guys that a lot of people, period, but a lot of guys that are experiencing the way the world is, all the different things that are happening. So we'll get into just what it is and then what do you do? So let's go ahead and walk through that. Keep it going. Keep us all moving forward. Thank you for being here. Peace.
When I am asked to speak, I embrace the calling. It is my responsibility to make sure to leave everyone inspired to elevate in all aspects of life. In the 26 states and 10 countries, it has been my energy that is infectious and magical. The impact elevates everyone to new heights. It's time to conquer our challenges. Relationships across the board, communication gaps, fear of the unknown, limited beliefs in all that holds us hostage in life. The path to power is peace, and peace is the power to live by. The unique perspective that I bring to the table inspires all, professionals, executives, students, coaches, and athletes to reach their highest potential. That is why I, Sid McNairy, am known as the secret weapon. Whether it is tackling mental health issues, success in business, or winning at life, every moment counts. Get ready to receive the tools to win. It's time to win at everything. Let's connect today. Peace.
Hello, my name is Miles. Discover a powerful journey of resilience, purpose, and spiritual growth in the autobiography of a human by Sid McNairy. In this compelling autobiography, McNairy shares the personal challenges and triumphs that shaped his path to success while offering insight for professionals seeking deeper meaning and balance in their own lives. Drawing from his experiences growing up Catholic, participating in indigenous vision quests, and studying the Buddhist path, he reveals how diverse spiritual traditions ultimately guide us toward the same destination: connection with the Creator and our highest selves. Through practices such as meditation, yoga, and spirit medicine, McNairy demonstrates how life's victories and hardships can become opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and lasting peace. The autobiography of a human is more than a memoir. It is an inspiring reflection for professionals striving to align purpose, personal development, and inner clarity. Available now on Amazon, this transformative story invites readers to reflect, grow, and step confidently onto their own path of self-discovery and peace.
All righty. I just got thrown for a loop. I'm sitting here trying to share everything and do all the things to make sure we're flowing in that way. And I just saw something that was posted about me that was 6 weeks ago. And someone wrote about me and I had no clue. And all these people are liking it. Yeah. Oh, hold on. It just got a little different than I thought. Uh, yeah, it actually says, yeah, it's just strange. They even, for some reason, somehow this person thinks I'm in the courts and I'm far from the courts. So, uh, yeah, all interesting things. And so, which leads to this conversation when you're stuck in guilt. I'm not there, fortunately. And yeah. So let's get Chris up here so we can start this conversation because I just got thrown into an interesting depth there. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. It's great to see you. And yeah, those little things that kind of sneak up on us are kind of a little fun, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh,
especially when it's 6 weeks ago. You're like, I had no idea. I love when you see stuff like that and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
Is it somebody you know?
I think so. I mean, he says he's known me for 40 years.
Well, that's crazy because you're only like 28.
Right. Which that would put it back in like early part of my life. And so, no, I don't really know. I have no clue who this person. I even went over to his, and I'm disappointed in myself of not knowing somebody that says they've known me for 40 years. But for 40 years, I haven't been in Dubai. I've never been to Dubai. So there's that. Not sure why anybody from Dubai would have followed me 40 years ago, unless they were watching soccer.
It was 40 years ago. It was like the 80s, wasn't it? I mean, I'm terrible at time, but
yeah, it's 14 years before 2000. So yes, 86.
Yeah. Damn. Maybe they got the wrong one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many Sid McNairys, right?
Well, they say Sid, and they may have just tagged the wrong Sid.
Oh, I've done that. I've gone back and I've looked back at a post and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't tag the right person.
Right. Like, nah, dude, you live in Dubai. You don't know me.
Mm-hmm. Tell them to send you a check.
And at first I didn't read it because we're here, right? So I just responded, thank you.
Thank you. Where's my commission check?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. That's what it'd be.
Yeah, so it's all good, but it kind of leads to this conversation, like when you're stuck in guilt. Now, one, I don't know what this is, but I could have gone down a rabbit hole that would have looked weird. Like, all right, what part of my life is someone talking about that maybe I did something I would have chosen differently at another time or whatever.
Right.
And then like, is there anxiety? No. I mean, so I don't have that, but I can understand how someone could be in that, right? Like could be in anxiety over the things they feel guilty about.
Of course.
And then, and often it is someone else's comment that leads someone down that rabbit hole. Like if I didn't know myself, I'd be down a weird rabbit hole trying to figure out myself through someone's post that likely is the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Dr. Vibes in the comments asking, hey, Sid, can you DM me the link via Instagram?
Yes, I will do
Dr.
that.
Vibe.
Doc, here it comes.
I love that. Dr. Vibe. I've never heard anything like that. I love that. What's the vibe? Dr. Vibe. And he's always got a cool vibe.
Right. He did misspell my name. So there it is. Like even Dr. Vibe can't spell my name right.
He's like going Sid Vicious. Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
no, but you're right.
You know, it's just the world is interesting. And I think trying to navigate texting him at the same time as talking to you. The world is in this place where guilt, shame, hurt, anxiety is, for lack of another word to use, is the devil's way of playing. Like even that, right? Like if the devil could knock me off my game, as this person says they've known me for 40 years. Yeah, like it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
The world is in a weird place. Yeah, I definitely don't know this person.
I've learned in those situations, honestly, Sid, is not to read too much into it. I've found in my life, I'm 57 now, and I found over the years that more often than not, I have read, because my mind is so analytical and so very much, okay, where's the threat? who's the threat, who's coming after me, right? You know, that reactive situation that some of us grow up in our childhood, where we're adept at being, okay, I have to sit in the restaurant where I see the door. It's just my nature. It's just like how I operate. But I've noticed in situations like that, where you get something that is unfamiliar, and you immediately start to read into it. And so I have found, like, I call it hitting the clutch pedal, hitting the brake pedal, pumping the brakes. What am I reading too much into this? How can I get some more factual information so I'm not making assumptions and allowing my nervous system to react to something that most likely isn't about me, or isn't entirely the whole situation that I'm seeing here in this case. And now I'm having an emotional response, which is going to cause ripple effects in the rest of my day. And I've found that the people in my life don't deserve those ripple effects for something that I'm making an assumption about, or something that somebody is trying to do to antagonize me. Why would I give them that power? And it took me years and years in therapy and coaches and having mentors in my life that, like, just asked me the question, like, so why are you getting so worked up about it?
Trying to do to antagonize.
Right. So it's, for me, those are immediate situations for me to sit there and say, okay, let me take a break on this. Sometimes put it away, come back to it, or ask somebody I trust and respect, like, when you read this, what do you take from it? Because I may be in an emotional situation right then. I may be dealing with some tough stuff. So I'm like, okay, here's another thing on my plate, as opposed to sometimes giving it to somebody else and they just go, I would just look at it like this. And I don't know if you had those situations where I've had people like, no, Chris, it's probably this. And you're like, oh yeah, duh. Right.
Right. No, I've had similar things where I'm thinking a certain way when it's like, nah, they probably just haven't even seen it. Like, I know a lot of people look and see someone text somebody and they see that person looked at it because it says read. And then they're wondering, why didn't they text back? And it's like, actually, they might not have really read it. Like, they could have easily scrolled through their phone. My computer's open. If someone texts me right now, they're going to think I looked at it. Well, I don't have too many people on read anyway, but if they were going to look at it, they'd be like, oh, Sid saw my text message. Actually, I didn't. And now, are you creating an anxiety around something that's not real? Yeah. So I agree that, like, a big part of that is to just get to that place of real threat or imagined threat, real problem or imagined problem. Like, real problem isn't even this guy that texted and tagged me. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. First of all, I'm not in the courts. So there's that. Secondly, and I'm staying out of the courts. Let me say that. I'm staying out of the courts. To the universe.
Good job.
And then just to look at it and realize, oh, wait a minute, you're from Dubai? Well, wait a minute. Everybody that liked this, the 21 people that have liked this, is from Dubai. Somebody in Dubai named Sid may be going through the same thing, but that's not actually me.
Right.
You know, if it's even when I look at some of these, there's I don't know if you know this, but 22 million people were born on the day you were born that are alive today.
Seriously? 22 million?
22 million. Think about it.
Wow.
8 billion people.
Right.
22 million doesn't make a dent in 8 billion. And so here it is on your birthday, not, every year your birthday. That wouldn't be just one time, but you could go back and say, okay, you've been alive for 40 years, we'll say. 22 billion divided by 40 is still a heck of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right. So now we take everything. Some people take everything that comes up on astrology as if it's personal. No, it's not personal. It's 22 billion divided by 40. Right. So it's like those kind of things I think are important to recognize. Like, that is human understanding. Like, okay, let's just not stop at the knee-jerk reaction. Let's get some real understanding about what we're looking at. Here's Dr. Vibe.
It's true. I mean, it goes back to that word. What's up, Dr. Vibe? Good to see you. It's all about making the assumption, right? So oftentimes, excuse me, we have parts and pieces of a story or a situation, And because we are people that need to fill in the gaps, we'll say, oh, that was because of that. And this is because of this. And then this is what I'm making it to mean about me, because everything's about us, right? And I have found more times than not, especially in working with my coaching clients, like, hey, Chris, can I get your feed on something? I'm like, absolutely. And then they'll say something and I'm like, what if that was completely not about you? Like, do you know for an absolute fact that that is about you? Yes or no? Well, no, but it's got this and it's got this and it's got that. I'm like, okay, how would you feel, or how will you feel perhaps if it's not about you and you've taken all this time and all this brain power, ignored the other things that are important in your life because of this thing, and you're making assumptions about it? So my first question to everybody is always, what can you do to clarify the situation? Can you call the person? Can you text them back? What is something you can do to get more information on this? And rather than make an assumption and have your nervous system react and go into this fight or flight or freeze kind of situation, work with the facts, work with the details to be able to be more informed and less reactionary. And I find when people do that, they're like, Chris, you were absolutely right. More times than not, it wasn't about me, or I was making an assumption about something, or that person was angry that day and they really didn't look at the message when they sent it. They thought they sent it. And of course, the other thing I invite people to remember is that 85% of our body, 80% of our communication is our body language, our tonality, everything. So when you get something in writing, you get an email, you get a text message or something like that, we don't know what place that person's coming from. So it's always a good idea to pick up the phone and contact them and talk to them and say, okay, what was this about? And then make an informed judgment or a response on that based on having more information, rather than that, oh my God. And then they go tell 20 people, then all of a sudden they find out the truth and they're like, okay, now I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Dr. Vibe's got some heavy hands.
Simona, yeah, he does. He's doing his thing, killing his keyboard. He probably has like three keyboards that he could plug in at any point in time and kill another one.
Only one.
He's missing 3 of the buttons on it too. He's like, yeah, I know where the W is.
Yeah. So Simona said, assume, ass of you and me. I mean, exactly. We all know that. Right? You assume something, you're going to lead yourself down that rabbit hole of anxiety and guilt and shame. And it may not be anywhere near about you at all. Like, I could have easily, with the message I got, it says Sid, and it's likely not about me. At least not in my reality. It's not about me. So all of a sudden I could have put myself in a catastrophe of thought for no reason. And that's just not my thing. Like in the Army, they talk about it's important to be responsible, which means able to respond. So if I'm not able to respond to something because someone writes something or says something, then I've got to get myself in alignment to figure out, all right, what are you really saying? Does it even pertain to me? And then I'll be able to respond to what you're saying. Like I had this conversation with this guy today and he went for like a half hour. And I'm like, dude, I get it. You want to prove everything to yourself about creation, this, that, and the other. And I said, all right, so you're a manifestation guy. You got it. I'm not that guy, but you are. And I think it's great. But I'm like, all right, well then I just want you to manifest an elephant outside your house right now and then send me a screenshot. Well, I can't do that. So what can you do? Like, stop. Like, and so many people, from my limited vantage point, so many people are stuck in, they know everything. And actually, probably, you know very little. I don't care if you do know everything that's happening in your life. That's still very small amount in the universe.
Right.
Like, so stop. That's part of the muck. Like, for me, I'd like to call it human arrogance. Stop getting stuck in human arrogance of thinking you know what God can do. Because I haven't yet met the person that when I say, hey, man, did you reach inside of a woman and make yourself into a baby? And no one has said yes yet. So until I meet that person, I'm good. You don't know everything. And you're not God. As much as you want to say you're connected to God, you're not God because you didn't reach in and make yourself into a baby.
It's true.
Like
It's true.
even Jesus didn't say, "Hey, that's above my." Jesus said, "That's above my pay grade." I can't tell you exactly what that's going to go like for your life because it hasn't told me anything. I get that those things are real to me. Like if we assume that we know everything, that's where guilt and anxiety comes from. Assuming you know.
It's true. It's true. And I think on that point, Sid, one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned, and I have people ask me that all the time, like, what are your top 5 lessons? One of the biggest lessons I've learned, I mentioned it here more than a few times, is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I grew up with a mother who didn't care what other people thought, didn't consider their opinions or where they were coming from. It was her way or the highway. And I learned very quickly that that's not the way to operate in the world. And especially in the business world, I learned at first where it was like, I could see something in an email, or I could see something in a memo, or I could hear hearsay from 3 different people. But until I go fully understand it and take that responsibility on my own, rather than being the house is on fire, the sky is falling, oh my God, so-and-so said this, to go do the work, and ask the question and go to HR and say, hey, listen, I'm hearing these rumors. Is this true? Yes, it is true. It's going to be okay. It's going to be coming out later. Or okay, or no, it's not true. That's a misunderstanding. That's happening in the Japan office. Okay, great, awesome. Well, there's 7 people running around this building right now saying that that's happening here. So you're going to have a morale issue pretty quick because shit spreads like fire. And then I go about being in my happy place because I did that work, and it still surprises me to this day how many people will have the capacity and the ability and the access to get something clarified. I mean, we live in a digital world, everything's accessible, and they'll still, I'm like, how long have you been ruminating on this? Oh, weeks or months. I'm like, you could actually just call the person, you could text it, whatever it might be, you could get some clarification, or you can just understand that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And you as a person have a resolve about you to say, you know what, whatever happens, I'll deal with it when it happens. But for now, I'm going to focus on here in the moment, what I do have control of. Because so oftentimes we give ourselves up to things that are completely out of our control, and we let it to drive us drive us sideways. And that's not productive. It's not conducive to a healthy mental state, which is what we talk about here. And it just still surprises me to this day that people will live in that state of assumption and speculation and not do anything about it. What do you think, Dr. Vibe? You had any of those experiences in your journey?
Of what? I've had too many experiences.
of not feeling guilty about
people being in a reactionary state and making assumptions and false predictions about something based on their screwed up nervous system, or their desire to control things or speculate or gossip.
Absolutely. Both. So many things, we could go on hours about that. One of the things that I've learned in my journey is the power of the pause.
Yeah.
We're in an instant gratification society, but I make my best decisions, and I don't always have the time to do it. But when I have the power of the pause, and sometimes you got to ask for it, because a lot of people will take it away from you. You've got to name it and claim it. So that's one thing. Coming in contact with people who make rash decisions, I encounter them all the time. And I protect myself from people like that. Right? And I make sure that I give them my boundaries. And if they're not willing to accept my boundaries, as Sting said, if you love somebody, set them free.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
how did you come up with your boundaries? What talk to us about that process? Because I think that would be very helpful for people listening, as I know a lot of people don't have boundaries.
Well, it's interesting. I can use an example just from this weekend. Boundaries of when you're doing too much. Mm-hmm. And I have indicators, and what just happened on the weekend. I couldn't find my wallet. And for me, that's a saying that if I can't find where my wallet is, I've got too many things on my mind that I don't know where those important things are for me. Mm-hmm. 2 important things in my life, my phone and my wallet. If I don't know where those 2 are, and my keys.
And I was going to say your keys, you got it.
Yes, yeah. Right. So if any of those are missing, most of the time is because my mind is on other things.
Right.
There are distractions. and I have to keep the main thing, because the main thing is the foundation. That's good. Other things have a better opportunity of being good. And also, I'm a firm believer a lot of times in order to get through, you got to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go through stuff to know, does this suit me? Does this not suit me? And then also, boundaries and appreciation. And like on top of that, Chris, when you have a good event, celebrate it.
Yeah, man.
Right? Celebrate it because, and I don't know if this had, I just wanted to bring up this quick little story. I was at a concert last night.
Nice.
And I went by myself.
Hey, I do that a lot now.
Right? And went there, sat in the seat, and I just started a conversation with the guy beside me. I live in Toronto. He traveled from LA to see this concert.
Was it Rush?
Yes, it was.
I knew it.
And the funny thing is, he has seen them 35 times.
Dude.
Wow.
So we had a great time together. I said, "Hey, I'm the only person in the house sitting. I'm sitting with a VIP here, man." And he gave all this information. And then about they went on break. He got up, comes back 15 minutes later, says, "You know what? Since it's the first time you're seeing this man and it's a special occasion, he bought me a hat."
Oh man, what a cool dude.
Like I went, and that I'm still, my heart is still full about it. We had a great time together and all that. So appreciate, like with the guilt and all that, one way you can deflect guilt is celebrate the good. That's a great pushback on guilt in the world. So I hope that adds some context on what you two do. You do the two knowledge bombs both you've been sharing over the last few minutes.
I mean, for me, it's, I mean, I don't have, I've let go. At this point in my life, I've just let go of thinking I am creating anything. So I don't really have guilt. Like, I know that I could walk out the door right now and God could give me a pot of gold. That'd be on God. I could walk out the door right now and I'm not going to say any of the other things because I don't want God to give them to me. And it's okay. Go ahead.
I want to add too, for men and those who love them out there. Guilt says I did something wrong. Shame says there's something wrong with me. So healthy guilt can motivate accountability, apology, and change behavior. Shame often keeps a man hiding, attacking themselves, or believing they're beyond repair.
Right. So then just don't play in that. Like, and part of not playing in it for me is knowing that I did not create this. I'm not even creating these thoughts, these words that are coming out of my mouth. Even though they're coming out of my mouth, there's something bigger than me allowing me to even say them in the first place. So I really don't live in that because it's most of these things we own as bad is because of our human arrogance to actually think that something else isn't actually in the driver's seat. And so then if this thing happened because I'm walking out to my car, then that's my fault. No, actually it can't happen if there's something bigger. And I really feel like part of our problem, especially here in the States where they've taken the idea of God out of schools. I'm not talking religion, but the idea that there is something bigger driving it all. Like my big thing most recently has been because I've been asked to speak on the supernatural and how does the supernatural, how does it affect our day to day? And then as I was dissecting and really looking at, all right, where did I see the supernatural? 3 years old. What did the supernatural do to me? Help me understand my purpose of being here. And here's the question. I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole because they'll probably make me rewrite everything that I've created for this group. But Here's the question. If you were designed, not just born, what would you be? And it wouldn't be guilt. It wouldn't be anxiety. I promise you that. If you were designed and lived in the design of what you were done to be, where would you be? Like now, then my whole work is helping people navigate how to find where their purpose was, not my purpose. Like, what was your purpose, Chris, Dr. Vibe, the purpose of why you were actually created? And then there's no guilt around anything, because it would be like, oh, I did this thing. Oh, I was created to do this. I went in the wrong direction. Do I need to stay guilty about that? No, just go in the right direction. And it's just a whole different compass to me, that takes away the gurus of the world and allows everybody to be their own guru, because they were all created on purpose, and actually let God be your guru. The thing that put you in the womb. Nobody, I keep going back to that because I'm still waiting for somebody to say, yes, I did. Nobody put themselves in a woman's womb and said, I'm going to be Dr. Vibe or Chris or Sid or whomever is watching, Robert. Nobody did that.
I have a question because all three of us were very, and I say the word blessed, to assist men all around the world. So would love to get your feedback on, how does guilt show up differently in men?
I mean,
That's
a
a
guy
good
gets too
question.
guilty, he's on his way out. I think it's almost like if they're living in that space of the guys that I've known that have lived deep in guilt, they're so depressed. That's one. Like that's like the beginning of it. They get depressed. And then when that depression starts, it keeps going lower, and eventually it's like all the stats we have on suicide.
Mm-hmm. Chris?
I think that's a great question. I was thinking of something similar to ask you guys and thinking about guilt. I've dealt with a myriad of men who have had various feelings of guilt, shame, and I think it really is about recognizing. The way I've helped most people is recognizing that we learn from adverse experiences. We don't learn when everything's going great necessarily.
True.
But we learn perhaps from situations, usually in our youth, that we don't know, and we'll make decisions based on what everybody else around us is doing. That's been I was trying to categorize it like in terms of how I've seen it in my life. I've seen guilt show up because somebody was at the wrong place. They say the wrong place at the wrong time. Committed a criminal act or or committed something that went against their religion or their values or something their parents taught them. And then they live with this guilt and this shame, and they carry this around them, and they don't know how to shake it. They keep beating themselves up over and over again for a situation that perhaps happened once. And I think it's important for people to recognize, ask yourself the question, what can I learn from this? So oftentimes we're trying to fix it, or we wish we coulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of thing. The best thing we can do is ask ourselves, okay, in this situation, what can I learn from this so that I don't do this again? And I think that's the critical component, is the fact that if we do something once and we learn from it, then we should really have the perspective to shift our perspective and say, you know what, although I wouldn't repeat that again, I'm actually kind of happy that it happened, because now it afforded me the opportunity to think differently in future situations like this. I've had guys tell me, like, in future situations when I'm around a bunch of my buddies, they can go all do the stupid thing, and I'm going to stay right here, and they can give me shit for it, but I'm going to stick to my values. I'm going to stick to what's right and wrong for me. And so I think that's an important thing, is to sit there and break it down. Like, okay, what was the situation? What was the experience? What didn't I know? What do I know now? And how can I have a little bit more love and peace for myself, as opposed to beating ourselves up constantly, and therefore not showing up to be the best we can be for the people that we love and we serve the most. And so when I've helped people do that, I've asked them, like, so who do you love most in this world? And most oftentimes it's somebody's kid. And I'm like, what would you do for that kid? I would do anything for that kid. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me, like, you would show up for, like, on a 1 to 10 scale, you'd be a 10. Yeah. okay, how do you feel about yourself and this guilt you're carrying around? And how much is it really impacting your ability to be the best you can be? Well, I'm probably operating at a 6 or a 5 or a 4. I'm like, okay, so what do you need to do to bridge that chasm, to really show up for your son, to really show up for your daughter, to really show up for your team that you coach? Well, I need to figure out a way to get past this. And so oftentimes they want the quick fix. I'm like, well, there's a couple of things you can do in order, and that's very specific to the situation. But the point is to be able to recognize, hey, this is happening for me. This is teaching me a lesson so that I don't do this again. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about that, because it is a very slippery slope. I've had people just live in that state of victimhood because that's where they get the most, oh, it's okay, Sid. It's okay, Dr. Vibe. It's okay, Chris. You went through all these things. And some people just enjoy that and need to have other experiences in their life that perhaps will teach them differently.
Yeah, I hear you. There are some people who love to live in that. And when I ask them is, well, how's that serving you?
Yeah.
Right.
Like
and if they want to live in that, that's good. Right. That's their choice, because everyone walks through the world differently. But I always ask people, like, because there are people on this earth that love drama.
Oh yeah.
Right. We're all nodding our heads. They love the drama, but they also love guilt. And I just ask them, how is that serving you?
I think it's also like most people, a lot of people don't look at what they want. And what you want isn't usually what you say, the person says. What they want is what they choose 9 times out of 10. And so a lot of people say, oh, I want love. Well, why are you still yelling at your wife? Because you don't really want love. You want the arguments.
Right.
Otherwise, you would choose that. But most people have yet to sit down and say, oh, what I actually want in my life is what I have. And so that's how that's shown up when working with people. For me, it's like, all right, I know you want to say, like, I remember someone asked me this, Sid, what's your highest vibration that you love to live in? And I was like, love. She was like, oh, you're so stupid.
Wow.
And I was like, damn. She's like, and then so I said, peace. She said, no, shut up. You don't get it. Don't say anything else. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I said, all right, I got it. She said, I really don't want to hear you, but go ahead. And I said, it's misery, because I'm miserable more than I am in love or peace. So I really want misery. I keep choosing it. I said, but today is the day that stops. Like, I'm done choosing misery. And so I really feel like that when people want something different, they will make the choice. And it's okay if they unconsciously or consciously continue to choose guilt or anxiety or hurt or shame, because it's teaching them at some point. You know, most of the time people want to stop someone's pain because they recognize the pain in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to feel what it feels like to see someone else in that anxiety. So they want to fix it. When it's like, nah, if you fix it, it's like, give a man a fish, eat for a day. Teach him to fish, eat for a lifetime. Heal someone's anxiety today without them knowing how to heal it themselves. Then when you're no longer around, they get so far down that hole, they just got a shotgun. Like, because they're like, nah, I can't get out of it. There's no Dr. Vibe, there's no Chris, there's no Sid, there's no whoever that helps them get out of it. And now they don't have that lifeline handy. Where do you go? And that's big to me. You got to we have to help people see how to do it for themselves.
Mm-hmm. And I think that dovetails on the fact of what we do here, bringing the men's circle here every single week, that importance of having a tribe in your life where you can go, and I call it a board of advisors. Like for me, I have a board of advisors. I can come to you guys. I can come to the people some other guys that I know, but I know I can go to them and I can trust them and sit there and say, okay, here's a situation that I'm experienced or I have experienced. And because I trust and admire these guys, and they have values and they have morals and they have standards, they have boundaries, you know, you have that board of trustees that can sit there and say, you know what, I see what you're seeing and I understand what you're feeling. However, have you considered this? Iron sharpens iron, as the good book says. And so I think that's massively important because so many people, especially men, to go back to your question, Dr. Vibe, so many men have been taught to be stoic and to be strong and to not let the little things bother you. We know all the phrases, right? But at the end of the day, we're human. We're human. We're having this experience. And if we sit in that isolation and ruminate on our own negative thoughts and go down that rabbit hole of, oh yeah, when I was a kid I did this wrong, and oh yeah, I screwed this up, and oh yeah, my relationships suck. I guess I'll never be able to be successful. I guess I'll never be able to control my anger. I guess I'll never be. And I think that's where it's important for us to always be looking at the opportunity of how can I grow a little bit today? Do I have some quality people in my life that I can go to that are doing some of the things that I want to do? Do I am in a high regard? And when I've challenged, especially men on this, I think women do a pretty good job of this in most cases. What women I find is they try to save everybody else instead of like saving themselves. But in men, I'm like, what is your group like? Describe to me the group. Oh yeah, well there's Charlie and he's there, and usually it goes into, I'm like, okay, so you're surrounded by a bunch of people that aren't like pushing you to be a better version of yourself. You actually sound like the smartest person in the room. Is that maybe accurate? Yeah. I'm like, okay, again, going back to what you said, Dr. Vibe, is that working out for you? And I've known personally in my life that I was the smartest person in the room. And sure, it felt great for my ego and I was helping people and I was validating myself. But once, especially in 2013, once I decided to make that decision that I wasn't going to be that person anymore and invest in myself and get around people who are brighter and smarter than me, everything about my boundaries, my values, my negative self-talk, my everything about me changed because I started seeing what was possible in other people who had been through far worse situations than I. And it was a switching of a lens. It was like, okay, I don't need to be this version of myself anymore. I can be that version of myself.
Love that. Love that. Yeah,
It's important. It's not easy, but I mean, geez, it's a lot better than spending your entire life being miserable.
yeah, I piggyback on what you're saying, Chris. You know, men need places where honesty is not punished,
Yeah.
right? And I know, Sid, you're very big on that, especially what's going on in the political climate in the United States.
Mm.
Honesty is vanished.
Mm.
And men need to have places where they can be honest. Because just piggybacking what Chris said, many men are taught to hide fear, sadness, regret, and all these things until those feelings come out as anger, withdrawal, overwork, substance abuse, or emotional numbness. So we have to have to create those safe and brave spaces, like what we do here, where honesty is not
Let's
punished.
do this. Let's do as we start to wind up. Chris, why don't you tell everybody where they could join groups with you, or if you know of groups in your area that would work for people, go for it. And then we'll go to Dr. Vibe, then I'll go.
Yeah. Oh no, thanks. No, I mean, I host a group coaching program that meets twice a month. It's super affordable. Men and women are welcome, and we work on what's going on in our lives. We talk about it. It started off as an accountability group, but now it's delved into a group coaching thing. We meet twice a month. I do teaching. We have a text chat where everybody can support one another, and I've seen transformations just in that small aspect of what I do on a daily basis. But yeah, and then I do one-on-one coaching as well.
Doc?
Yeah, I do one-on-one coaching, and I'm always open to people just to reach out because sometimes all a person needs is just to know that someone's listening with their head and their heart. Not just one, their head and their heart. Because if you're not careful, men and those that love them, if you're not careful, life will kill you.
I mean, it's the number one killer as it is anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
So live long enough,
Scooby.
you die.
Yeah. So I think more than ever, it's so important. Again, what Chris is saying, having that, it starts with one, but having those group of people that you can reach out to. I would challenge, and I think I've said it here before, if a man is watching this, if you had something challenging happen to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, do you have someone you can reach out to? If you don't, and
That's a true friend.
if you don't, this is just my opinion. You're not in a good place. I'll just leave it at that. That's just me.
Awesome. All right. So with me, we just finished 10 weeks, 6 a.m. men's circle. And so because people asked, we're now hosting it at 6 a.m. on Fridays, men's circle. We've got 30 people that are already there. It's going to skyrocket. So I'm excited for that. Then we on Sundays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, every first and third Sunday of the month, we have a group that's working through constantly on their own personal evolution. And then we have on Wednesdays, obviously you can come here, chime in as much as you like. On Wednesdays at 8 a.m., we have a group meet on Clubhouse, and then Wednesdays at 7 p.m., a group deal there too. So if you're looking, don't let money be the obstacle, because we've got ways for you to get involved. Like I said, Wednesday morning, Wednesday night on Clubhouse. And I think it is important that we were meant, all of us, to be in relationship. If you're battling this alone, that's not how you were created. You can't even, the species cannot go alone, man or woman. If it's only a man and a woman left and they said we're going to walk away from each other, they don't make the next one. You can only do it in relationship. Adam and Eve were the only way they got to the next one. Got to be in relationship. So I think that's an important thing to like dive into, is what are your relationships? If you don't like something, like let's say you're living a blissful life and all of a sudden something new comes in, is taking you off par or off step, look at who you brought into your life. And what was the relationship that was created when you brought that person in? Because it's guiding it. It's all about relationships. Dr. Vibe, you going to say something?
Yeah, if I guess maybe 45 seconds with quick closeouts. And actually, the best people I know are the people who have the best relationships. And I'll add quick takeaways from me. For men and those who love them, guilt can point toward repair. Shame attacks identity. Also, emotional strength includes naming what is happening and seeking support, like we've offered here. And then a small, honest next step is often more useful than trying to solve the entire future. And then men should not wait for a crisis before they tell someone the truth. And then I'll leave with this last question. For men and those who love them, what is mine to repair and what is mine not to carry?
All right, Chris, what you got? Wrap up.
I love those, Dr. Vibe. I think for me, it's number one, in the moment. I have a short term and long term. In the moment, when we're having those reactionary situations, I highly, highly encourage people to take a deep breath. And I know that sounds cliche, but there's a thing called box breathing, where you do 4 seconds in, you hold for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, you hold for 4 seconds. Anytime I've ever done that for at least 4 or 5 times in those moments, I'm able to calm my central nervous system. I'm able to calm the breathing and the chaos that's going on. And then I'm able to ask myself that next question and be, okay, what can I do about it? What am I willing to do about it in this moment? Can I call somebody, either to talk to them about the situation, or can I clarify the situation that I might be making an assumption of with that person? But so oftentimes we bury it, we suppress it. We never express it, we suppress it, and we bury it down, and we go to our short-term gratification. So I highly encourage you, if you're in those situations, to reach out to men like us and find your community and find your group. And I highly recommend seeing a licensed practitioner in the mental health space. I just recently went back to a therapist for the first time in probably 8 years. And I periodically go and have these conversations where I just let it go. And I have no worry about what the opinion is of it. And I allow myself that space to have a different perspective, not be sold on my victimhood or my rightness or whatever it might be. Like, what does this person say? What is their objective opinion? What's their professional recommendation? And go with that. But to sit in silent desperation, hoping, wishing, and praying that something changes will only lead to your untimely death, most likely, and your fractured relationships and a feeling of not being enough. So you can sit there if that's working for you, but if you want to be successful in life and you want to leave a legacy that you're proud of, you need active people who are doing the stuff in your life that you want to do. I'm Christopher Rausch. I'm complete.
All right. Here's mine, just to wrap up. You don't know where you're going, or you'd already be there. So stop thinking that what you were designed to get to, you're there, or you'd be gone tomorrow. Like it really would be like that. If your purpose is already complete, we'll see you soon. Otherwise, get out of your own way, because if you knew where you were going, you would be there. So let something bigger than yourself guide you forward and set yourself free. That's what I got. Thank you, fellas. It's been a pleasure. Everyone, we will see you next week. Great stuff.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
I'll be back.
I've been at peace for so long. It seems like I've been sitting all alone. Would you know when the crew is coming through? They're the ones that will make anew. Gotta go, gotta flow, gotta choose the truth. We the ones that will raise the roof. Let's roll up and throw down. Let's go and feel the sound. Good vibes, one try. Can you feel me now? Be you, be me, be free. Go and take it till we bounce the beat. Take it to the streets, make 'em move the feet. I can slow it down, look in my eyes now. Just like you two want it fast. Spread them wings and make it last. God was the one to erase the past. Time to bring it forward to see the forecast. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. That was God's broadcast. That was God's broadcast. Time to embrace